let's talk about the Phillies, Scott. Everything's going pretty well, and I'm very suspicious about it. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure everyone in Philadelphia is looking around like, when's the shoe going to drop? But they've had a really, really good start. Sweeping the Braves. Braves came into the season, in that conversation with the Dodgers and Padres of, teams that could represent the National League in the World Series. So they swept them out of the building. And then they took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, and in their 2 wins, dominated the Mets, especially in the rubber game of the series. And then when DeGrom came out, Phillies just completely hopped on the Mets like they were waiting for that to happen. Like that was their plan all along. But you're getting good starts from Nola and Wheeler. The bullpen that was the reason you guys didn't make the playoffs last year has pitched well. And you're getting timely hits from guys like Hoskins and Realmuto and Harper. Basically, the blueprint that Joe Girardi wants over the course of this 6-month season is what you got week 1.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal start to the year, especially, sweeping out the Braves. Weirdly, they're the team that the Phillies have played best against over the last couple of years. They play up to the competition. I think they enjoy beating them. Zach Wheeler in his first start was absolutely disgusting. I tweeted it out. I think it was maybe the second most dominant pitching performance I've seen from a Phillies pitcher ever, behind Roy Halladay's perfect game against the Marlins. And plus swinging the bat, he drove in 2 runs in that game. Nola hasn't been all the way on yet, but he's won 2 games or won 1 game, pitched well, and opening day gave up a home run to Pablo Sandoval of all people. But yeah, the bullpen is huge. Bryce Harper has said it multiple times. Like, we keep telling them, just keep us in games, keep us alive, because we got a lineup that's going to be able to hit at any point in the game. And outside of a clunker from Vince Velasquez, who is already on the short end of the stick with this roster anyway, everyone's pitched really well. Connor Brogdon, Ty, you were making fun of him for his odd looking body.
What do you mean? Oh, he's the skinny dude?
Yeah, he's the big, tall, lanky kid.
There you go.
Leads the majors and wins with 3 already. He's come out and been lights out. Jose Alvarado, who the Rays gave up on, is absolutely disgusting. Throwing 102, sinkers and like 96 mile an hour, like slider / cutters. He's kind of terrifying to watch because sometimes it's all over the place, but hitters are scared too. So like it works. Archie Bradley's been really good. He's a good pickup. Hector Neris is shut the door. He's kind of scary to watch sometimes, but they're getting the job done, and they look like a threat. And Harper really hasn't started hitting yet. So if he gets on a roll and gets hot, which we know he's perfectly capable of doing, like they're going to put themselves in a good position, for the rest of the season. Like, you don't want to get behind the 8 ball in this division. So if you can get out front early, like that's really important.
I agree.
They're 5-1 with a +10 run differential. Nobody else in the National League has a positive run differential. Scott, who do you think the biggest pleasant surprise has been in this stretch? Has there anyone has been outperforming what they normally do, or is this just a case of everybody doing what their baseball card says they can do at the same time?
No, it's absolutely Rhys Hoskins. Last year he had a good year. He had a great rookie season. He came out of nowhere, mashed a ton of home runs, and kind of took a step back. Last year he was having a good year and then got hurt with a UCL injury in his left elbow, which shortened his season and kind of delayed his offseason progress. But he's been absolutely on fire to start the year. He's already got 7 extra base hits. He went 3 for 5 yesterday with 3 extra base hits. He's just hitting the cover off the baseball, and he's doing it all over the field. Like, he's not just a dead pull hitter anymore. Like, he's really learned how to go the other way, take what he's given. So with him at the top of the lineup hitting in front of JT and Bryce, like, he's going to get on base. Like, that gives them so many opportunities to drive in runs. The only issue I have with the Phillies right now is center field. That's been an issue for the last couple of years. I hope they go out and make a move to get a center fielder. And if they do that, I really don't see any reason why this team shouldn't be in the postseason and potentially winning the division, because with the second worst bullpen in Major League history last year, they were still only a game out of the postseason. Like, that's how good their offense was last year. Like, they were right there on the doorstep. So I have no reason why they shouldn't be, there this year.
Who's in the background?
I think my sister just crawled across the floor.
Are we doing It's All Relevant?
Glenn wants to know if we're doing It's All Relevant, Kelsey. No, she said no.
I mean, I would.
Oh, no, it's over.
I guess so.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I think the Phillies have been really good. I was really surprised that they swept the Braves because I was really high on the Braves. I took them to win the division. I think we all did.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't remember. But yeah, it's really good that the Phillies are playing well because I hate to be a jerk, but like it's been a severely underperforming franchise for years now with the money they put into that team.
Last 10
with
years.
Harper and with McCutchen and with and Ramiro Muto now, and they have brought in Wheeler and they brought in Archie Bradley and they already have Austin Nola, who they developed. There's no reason for them with the commitments that they've made to the roster that they shouldn't be a playoff team. Like this shouldn't be a surprise. It just is because they've been so disappointing for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, they've all been saying it that it's time. Like they all realize that this is like it's put up or shut up time for all of them.
Exactly. It's almost like the Phillies and Mets are on that same plane as we think they're going to be good, but until they're good, they're not good. Right now, the Phillies are playing well and they're good, so that's going to shut up all the haters.
Yeah,
Tyler, you agree? I want to get you in here.
I do. I'm happy for Scott. I really am.
Appreciate that.
I am too. I don't like Scott miserable. I don't like him upset. I wanted Scott to be happy.
Thank you.
Like,
Appreciate that.
I'm
I have
just
another
glad-
fan that's a Phillies fan. I have another Philadelphia fan that I don't want to be happy, but I'm happy for Scott.
Thank you.
When we're sitting here in our frustration, it's just good to know that after Scott went through probably worse than what we're going through right now, and now gets to just
I think
see
worse than
the-
what
the
we've
good
ever
side.
been through in our lives.
You guys have never seen a losing season.
This is pretty bad.
And you guys are having meltdowns on opening day.
Yeah, Scott laughs at us on Twitter. Like he does. Like these kids don't even know pain.
It gets frustrating sometimes to be friends with you guys. Just with all the all the pain that I've gone through with all of my sports teams. But yeah, it's just good. And to like with the comparing the Phillies and the Mets, like even like as a neutral, taking a neutral look at it, like I would still never trust the Mets. Like even like with what the Phillies have shown, like you can trust that. You can kind of buy into that. With the Mets, it's still just like I don't trust that team to do anything. So it's good. That's all that I can really say. It's just good.
It seems good. It really does.
Yeah, and you know what? God bless Scott. I really hope Philadelphia has a fun year for you. Now, I hope it doesn't end like 19 because they started off well in 19 and they completely collapsed in the second half. So
Yes.
you can't trust it until September's over and we see where we are in the standings. Looking at the standings now, I'm just going through the teams. I want to see if there's any noteworthy things before we get into winners and losers. There's a couple. Let's talk about the Padres because Padres were a hot team all winter, made a ton of splashes. They're playing well. They're 4-3. They're only a game out of first with the Dodgers. I feel like an idiot talking about how many games they're out on April 8th, but I'm going to do it anyway. The big problem with the Padres is obviously the Tatis injury. So he dislocated his shoulder swinging a bat. We don't really know how long he's going to be out. The Padres are hoping that they're just going to take it like 10 days, reevaluate. Lost my train of thought. Reevaluate, and then hopefully soon after that he'll be back. But there's also a potential where he needs to get shoulder surgery and he's shut down for the year. Now, everyone fell in love with Tatis last year. Everyone fell in love with him again over the winter when he signed that contract. He's the cover of MLB The Show. He's one of the faces of the game. and the hype train was out in full force for him over the last 6, 7, 8 months. This is a devastating blow if he's out for a long period of time. This is a devastating blow for not only the Padres, who had very high hopes this year for the first time in a long time, but the sport in general, because the sport needs him to be that, young electric shortstop that he was last year.
Yeah, I hope he's healthy. I think the positive is it's the left shoulder. So he might be able to get away with not having to do surgery until the off season. But yeah, it definitely sucks for him not to be out there on the field because he's only destined to do great things. And he's what, 22 years old, 23.
Yeah.
Like it's only going to get better. The only positive thing is you still have Manny Machado there on the left side. You can slide Jake Cronenworth, who was third place in Rookie of the Year voting last year, over to shortstop, and then you can play the Korean transport in Ha Sung Kim and see what you have in him. But yeah, it sucks for him to go down this early in the year.
I was very excited to watch Padres baseball this year, and I feel like up until his final moment, he smacked like a rocket to left center field. Like, I think it was the game before. I don't think it was the game he did get hurt, because that was early in the game,
Yeah,
right?
it was the game before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, is this the start of the MLB The Show curse?
I hope not.
I hope not, too.
Could be. The game didn't even get released yet.
Yeah.
True.
Like, the game didn't even get released yet. He's already potentially out for the year. That would just be horrible. And it
So if he
might
gets
make me get the
surgery-
digital version, because if he's going to be out for the year, why would I get the what was that?
If he gets surgery and he's in a sling, does
Yeah, he's out
MLB
for
The
the
Show
year if
have
he
to
gets
pull
surgery.
like a Brett Favre,
this-
like Packers to Jets, like cover swap and just give
Oh
him a
my
sling
God,
on the cover?
That was embarrassing.
that would be mean.
That was bad. So yeah, you cross your fingers and hope that Tatis is okay. I don't know if I'm in the majority or minority in this with the Padres, but I think even without Tatis, they're still a very formidable team. I don't think they'll catch the Dodgers without Tatis. I don't think they'd catch the Dodgers with him, but they're still a playoff caliber team for sure without Tatis, with guys like Machado and Hosmer and Will Myers and Tommy Pham and the pitching that they brought in. I think they're still a very good team even without Tatis, but Tatis is the rock star in that team.
Yeah,
I feel like
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go.
I just feel like the lineup does look a little weak. Like, I have a tickle in my throat. I don't really know what it is, and I feel like it's the presence of Tatis and the energy that he brings to that lineup. Not necessarily just like one man in the leadoff spot, the 2 spot, the 3 spot, wherever they put him. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems not very depressing, but it just seems like something's missing, and something is indeed missing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting how they adjust.
Yeah, it definitely shortens their lineup a little bit and puts a little more pressure on Eric Hosmer to step up, on Tommy Pham, on Will Myers, to be better. But it's still a good lineup, and I do agree with Glenn. Like, if he were to be out for the season, they could definitely still be there because their pitching is going to be good, and they're still going to hit. Like, they could still be there. I don't think it's a lock like it would have been before, but it's still, they could definitely be there. But it definitely opens up the door for other teams to make a push and make a run for that second wild card spot. Yeah, I agree with you, Ty. It does weaken them.
I'm a little scared, honestly. Like, I feel like Machado, maybe not Machado, but I would even throw him in there because I don't know. He's like an energy kind of guy. And same thing with like Hosmer and Pham. Like, that lineup last year came into the spotlight because of the energy that they brought. And they play free flowing. And they were the Slam Diego Padres. Like, they coined a nickname. Like, they were on fire. They were rolling. They were going. And like, I don't know now, like, when they all look in the mirror and say, like, all right, we're without Tatis, like, it's go time. Like, multiple people need to step up. I don't know if this is a lineup that prevails under these circumstances. From what I've seen since, I don't really know. It's only been like a game or two, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, they lost to San Francisco their last time out 3-2. Yeah, I mean, he's the quote unquote captain of the team. He's the leader. So wherever Tatis goes, the Padres were gonna go, and they're gonna have to regroup without him. Not every day you see a team in baseball lose their, inarguable team was successful. But we'll see. We'll see if he's out for the year at the deadline if they get a shortstop to rent, kind of like how the Dodgers did when they lost Seager and they brought in Machado. So we'll see what happens with San Diego. Let's move on to the Cincinnati Reds. Never thought I'd talk about the Cincinnati Reds. Killing it. 5-1, dismantled Pittsburgh, fighting St. Louis. This team for real, or do you think this is just a hot start? They'll come back to earth.
It's Nick Castellanos' world, and we're just living in it. And I firmly believe it. I don't know. It's Scott. You have anything on the Reds?
Yeah, like Castellanos is a guy that in the past he's shown flashes, but he's never done it like consistently over a full year. So if they can get that from him, that's huge. And like they're getting flash in a pan from Tyler Naquin as well, like a guy who the Indians non-tendered and let walk. And then rookie Jonathan India playing second base is hitting like 478 and driving in a ton of runs. Plus they got, Luis Castillo and, Sonny Gray's down right now. So if they can get Sonny Gray, keep the momentum going by the time they get Sonny Gray back. We've talked about it. Like the Central's kind of open. And, they punched the Cardinals in the mouth to start the year as well. So, and we all thought the Cardinals were by far and away the best, team in the division. I wouldn't rule it out, but I also do think it's, you're playing the Pirates. Guys start out the year hot and kind of come back to earth. But if they can sustain, they're going to regress. But like, I don't see why they couldn't. Like, they have a good lineup. We talked about it last year. Like, they had a good lineup until they got into the postseason. And when things went bad, we all kind of, jumped off the ship and said these guys suck. But like, they don't suck. They have good players. So
I agree.
I don't see a reason why not.
It's a good story because we like to see teams that normally we weren't thinking would be good to be good. And the Reds right now are that team. Tyler, did you have another thing to add on Cincinnati before I move on?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was MLB The Show 2016. I did an online franchise, and I was actually the Reds. And my very young prospects, two of them, Jesse Winker, Nick Senzel, those were the guys. So, like, I don't know. This is the time. This is what they've been waiting for.
This is it.
These guys have been in the pipeline.
Working for. This is what you have been working for ever since 2016.
I build them up. But, like, the Reds are a team that should take advantage of the Padres being down if they do, play down. Like, the Reds should be one of those teams saying, oh, hey, here's our chance to get back to the postseason and, prove everyone wrong from last year. So good for them. Good start. I have a couple of them on my fantasy teams, and I'm enjoying it. So I'll take it.